All right, finally I've got some audio set up here so that I can share with you what you might have missed in the last class. I'm just going to give you a couple of quick tips and pointers that we discussed in the last class, so that you can have something to work with and practice before you come to the next class. And it really was just two main points. There are going to be a lot more of these videos where I either talk about drills or go over what we talked about in class, or something to focus on while you're away and practicing on your own time. So the 2 points that I talked about in the last class were shifting and keeping the elbows in. One student was having a little bit of trouble rotating the wrist and having the elbow come out. So one of the things we do in the warm-up at the beginning of the class, a lot of times we do these wrist rotations, and you can practice these in the mirror and try to keep your elbows in at all times. Okay? So that's one of the things we can have you guys work on, is just keeping your elbows in when you're rotating your wrists. So just so you can see, you keep your elbow in, is here, and just rotate the wrists. And this should help with keeping your elbows in. The importance of that, keeping your elbows in, is to keep yourself guarded, keeping your center line guarded, and keeping this, if you have this overextended, you can get this broken. It's one of the reasons we don't really punch like this in Wing Chun, because someone can break the arm. We punch like this, and we never overextend. Keeping this, and always keeping the elbow in, close to that center line, sort of making a triangle. So that's what you want to practice. Rotating the wrists, keeping the elbows in. This will give you some of the flexibility and sensitivity that you need for practicing Chi Sao, and for executing different moves, various moves that you'll do in Chi Sao. So that's why it's real important to work on just rotating the wrist. It's in the first form a lot. You'll see that at the closing of each section, there's a punch and a wrist rotation. So just keep that in mind. So that's one. And the other thing I was going to have students work on this week is shifting. So how to shift and how it's used. Shifting, this is in the practice stance like this, we would shift not on the feet but on your hip. So you're turning your hip to do the shifting. Okay? So you can practice this, just shifting left and right. If you want your feet to move, you can turn the hip and the feet will follow. So if I torque my hip, and I only want to be, when I'm shifting, I only want to be, it's about a 90-degree angle. So you just want to do a short shift, okay? Shifting this way and this way, like that. Shifting from the hip. So if you want, you can practice shifting, just holding this practice stance and shifting left and shifting right. And shifting left and shifting right. All right. This is so that you can get out of the way for protection and to execute your blocks and techniques. So shifting is very important in Wing Chun. So that's a big thing here that you'll work on. The one other piece I think is real important on the shifting is understanding, and this you don't have to practice. I would just for now work on just shifting from the hip. But keep in mind, one of the ways that we will practice shifting is by bringing out a block such as a Tan Sao and shifting to do the block instead of moving the arm to do the block, or doing something like this, or going out and extending yourself and opening yourself up. You keep your hand on the center line and shift, and let the shift move the arm. The arm stays in one place and stays on your center line to guard, and you can follow through with your attack. So shifting and striking. Okay? And wrist rotations. So you can practice shifting. Always remember to keep your stances low. Practice that in the form. Work on your shifting. work on your wrist rotations. Okay? Just rotating the wrist. And we can do a kind of a close-up, if you like, of the wrist rotation. Okay? All right, I'll see you next class. Enjoy your practice time, and looking forward to doing some more Wing Chun. Take care.